The title to my structure is called The Gateway to Success. The reason I call this that is because I made this thing to show how that little arc that I made is that one pathway to success after going through good education and not leaving school and not dropping out and making it through successfully. And then the stones are supposed to represent my friends, how they will always be beside me wherever I go, and how they help me go through the process of learning. Without them, I would have given up a long time ago in school and everything else. To me, the planning hard was the hardest part for me. The reason for this is because planning, I had to think of my own idea, which was very difficult because I'm not that very creative a person, and I didn't have a really big idea of what I was going to draw, and my brain usually doesn't go in a random way. It always has a path of where it was going. So first, when I started this, I was thinking of music. Music was a big part of my life, and I thought that might be a good thing to think about. I drew some random stuff to it, but really I didn't get a big idea. Later on, John Park came to our class, and that day, he helped me with some ideas, but then right then I knew that friends were something big, and education was something big, and I was able to show education, and I was able to show friends together, because this picture is kind of an arc tunnel where the rocks are my friends protecting me the way through the way of difficulty in my studies, and that light represents the success for me after all the hard work I have completed through my young ages. Step one was where the processing of the plaster and the foil was, and with the wires was made. This was another hard part, especially making the wires fit to the design that I wanted. I had a big design, so I had to connect more than one piece together, and I most of my creation was made through very tiny molecular size wires, and it wasn't just wires involved for my project. I had to use a lot of tape to hold it together at first, and I needed to use foil to be able to plaster the big parts. In my pictures, as you can see, I had three different pieces, big pieces made first, and then I combined them into the one. First the diamond shape, and then a kind of like a cubic boomerang shape, and then like a house shape were made. These were the easiest way to represent the and make the thing creation I wanted to make. Uh, the diamond wasn't that hard, but then I guess the hardest one would be the house, because I had to use more than one different type of piece to make what I was wanting to make. So I now this was step two, creating and coloring the part. Well, after plastering, I started to color the parts that I wanted with marker. I thought it would look better and nice, but then after about one class period, it seemed that it would take way too long, and that paint came out nicer and smoother. It was easier to make lines because one, I would make the line outline first. I would paint it, and if there were rough spots, I could have covered it with the black outlines, and it would look so much better than using marker. Well, this took about longer, a very long time, because my patterns had different colors in it, and it took time because I had to make sure there weren't really big differences, and that I had to and the edges weren't so rough. I made a pattern using three colors: red, blue, and green. And then a little black stripes, dots, and everything. The reason I use these colors were, one, they are pretty colorful to me, and two, they kind of represent my kind of person I am. And the reason is because green shows the honesty I have, red shows some of the bad stuff I've done, and blue shows the gloomy feeling in my brain and heart sometimes. Coloring, and this wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be. There were not really any big difficulties that I faced. In conclusion, my final product came out well, and everything seemed just according to plan. Even though there were some big difficulties, everything came out and it looks very nice, and it was better than I expected it to be.